Alright, so this is our second part of your UASA Form 2 Paper 1, Section A. So we are discussing on your question 11 until question 20 here. So 11, the table shows the values of the function where you are given an equation here, right? So which value of y is incorrect? Over here, you will just need to do some basic substitution into your equation here to find whether your left-hand side and right-hand side are equal or not equal, right? The answer for this is donkey, because you can just do some substitution here. If your x is 2, which means to get your y value, you will put a 2. Then your x here, you will be substituted by a number 2, followed by a cube minus your 2, right? Because over here there's another x. So by checking on this, you can actually see 2 cube is equal to 8. So 2 times 8, you get 16 minus 2. Your answer is 14. But the question given here is 10. So the answer is donkey lah, right? To continue to check if your negative 14, negative 1, and 1, these three answers are correct or not correct, you can do the similar working by substituting your x values into an equation, then check with your corresponding y values. Right? So the answer is donkey for this. Okay, for question 12, find the midpoint. So question is very direct. You are required to check for the midpoint. Midpoint's formula is the average of your x value and your y value, which means you are getting your x1, x2 divided by 2, y1, y2 divided by 2, then you bracket it. Okay? If this is your set 1, you will have x1, y1, and this is your set 2, you will have x2, y2. Okay? So you can just add both of your x values together and average it. Same goes for your y part. So for here, you will have 3 plus negative 7 over 2, 10 plus negative 18 over 2. And you will get negative 2 and negative 4. And answer is donkey. Right? Then number 13, you are required to check the perimeter in units of the triangle PQR. So you can form a line here, PQ and R. So this is your triangle. And you are looking for the perimeter. Perimeter, which means you are required to calculate for the surrounding length lah, okay, the three sides. P to Q, your line PQ is simple. This is 5 units because you can see there are actually 5 boxes. For QR and PR, you will have to use your Pythagoras theorem again. So in this case, to get your QR, you will see this triangle, and from here you have 3 units here, you have 4 units here. So to get your QR, you will use 3 plus 4. Then don't forget to put in your square and square root. Over here, you will have 25, which will also bring you 5 units. Okay, so QR is 5 units. Similar concepts will be applied in your line PR, which means everything here. And we will check your horizontal and your vertical distance as well. PR equals to, over here you have 4 units. From P moving vertically, you will have 8 units. So you can just use 8 square plus 4 square. You square root it, you have 64 plus 16. You have square root 18, or your surd 18, right? When you have surd 18, you will leave your answer with 8.94. Which means over here you have your 5, this is your 8.94, and you are just adding these 3 numbers together. Okay, so answer for your 13 is C. Moving on to question 14. In the diagram below, PQ is a straight line drawn on a Cartesian plane. Given PQ is 13 units, so over here is 13, you need to find the gradient of PQ. You are looking for this line gradient, right? From here, you can actually see this is your y-intercept and this is your x-intercept, right? Under gradient formula, you have 2 formulas given. For this case, you can just use the gradient of PQ equals to negative y-intercept over x-intercept, since these 2 numbers are something that you can actually look for. right? So PQ given is 13 units. If your y-intercept is 5, which means this vertical line is a 5. And you are just checking this OQ, what is the length of your OQ. From this part, you can see there's a right angle triangle. And again, this is about your Pythagoras theorem. Right? So for your OQ, you will use your 13 minus 5 and put in your square with square root. Okay, then you will have 144 here, which you will get 12 units as the answer for your line OQ. And this 12 will be represented over here. It will reflect as 12 in your coordinate Q, X value. Right? Last but not least, in order for you to find your gradient PQ, you will just input your X and your Y, which are your 12 and 5 respectively over here. And your negative is always in your formula. Don't forget that. So negative 5 over 12. So your answer is A. Right, so this is your question 14. Moving to question 15. This is about your speed and acceleration. So find the acceleration or deceleration in meter per second squared. For your acceleration or deceleration, there is only one formula given, where we will be initiating your acceleration formula equals to final minus initial over time. Right? Or your V minus U over T pun boleh. So in this case, this is your V, this is your U, or your final and initial. So acceleration equals to 13 minus 19 meter per second over everything is done in 5 seconds. So you can just press your calculator, 13 minus 19, then divided by 5, you have negative 1.2 meter per second squared. Because you have a second here, you have another second here. So over second squared. Right? With acceleration equals to a negative number, which means this is your deceleration of a positive 1.2 meter per second squared. So in this case, your answer is C, because you are referring to the deceleration part. Right? The speed is reducing from time to time. In this case, it reduces from 19 to 13 in 5 seconds time. Right, so this is a deceleration. The object is slowing down. Okay, so question 16. Any cycles from a stationary state. Stationary, it means it is not moving. So it is a zero movement, where your initial speed is a 0 as well. Okay, and accelerates uniformly until he reaches the speed of 20 meter per second in 5 minutes. Then you are looking for the acceleration part in meter per second. So to get your acceleration, again, you will need to use your V minus U over T. But over here, you have something to change, because you need to synchronize the units of your time first. Okay, the acceleration of the bicycle in meter per second square, which means your 5 minutes, first of all, you need to use 5 multiplied 60 to get you a 300 seconds first. Then this 300 will be put in into your T part. Okay, your final speed is a 20, so you use 20 minus your stationary. This is your initial speed, which is 0 meter per second. Then you have to over 300 seconds. And by using this concept, you will get your 1 over 15 meter per second square as your answer. So 16 is A. Right? 17. Which of the following points lies on a straight line? Y equals to 2x minus 4. So this is a linear equation related solution. Whenever you see the word lies on a straight line, it means you can just put in your x and y value into your equation and see whether your left and right hand side is balanced or not balanced. Okay, the answer for this part is donkey, because if you are to put your x as 2 and y as 0 here, you can see your left hand side equals to y is a 0. Right hand side is actually 2x minus 4, and you put in your x value here, you will also get a 0. So when left hand side and right hand side's value are equal, this means the particular coordinates are actually on the line itself. Right? It doesn't mean that you need to be a 0 equals to 0. It can be 5 equals to 5, 10 equals to 10. As long as the values of your left hand side and your right hand side are the same. Okay? Then question 18. Which of the following is the y-intercept of the equation something here? So to get your y-intercept, which means the value of your y that is being cut here. This is your y-intercept. Any values under y-intercept, you will have the x as 0. This is something important that you need to remember. So in this case, to find your y value or your y-intercept, you just need to replace your x with a 0. Then do some shifting, you should be able to get your y. So 2y equals to 2 bracket x minus 6. You will get a negative 6 because you are using 0 subtract with 6, right? You are not looking for your true y, but your y value. So to get a y value, you are just shifting your 2 again. It will become a division, and your answer is negative 3. Okay, for 19, a letter is selected at random from the word Malaysia. So you have all these alphabets inside your sets. Which of the following outcome is not possible? So this question is very direct to be answered. Donkey is the answer. You can't find any letter T, right, from the word Malaysia. So this is something which is not possible, or we call it an empty set, right? When we are talking about our set, this is called empty set, right? Then the last one, a number is chosen at random from the set x, where x is a positive integer and x must be lesser equals to 40, which means over here, your sample space, it will begin from 1 to right until 40. Okay, these are your sample spaces. And from here, you will know your n of your set. Let's take this set as set A maybe. You will have 40 numbers in total, right? Because you will start from 1, 2, 3, right until 40. And you are looking for the probability of getting a perfect square. Over here, you need to understand what does it mean by perfect square. Perfect square refers to the answer that you get from squaring your whole number or your positive integers. Okay? So from 1 to 40, you will have 1 square equals to 1, 2 square equals to 4, 3 square equals to 9, 4 square 16, 5 square 25, 6 square 36. Right? You are not taking any more further because when you're having 7 square, you get a 49, which is not in the range of your sample space. Right? So from here, you can actually see the wanted, right? The elements that you are looking for, there are actually 6 in total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So to get a probability of getting a perfect square, you will use the concept of 1 over all. This is your 1. This is the all. So you just put your 6 over 40 as your probability. But over here, your answer is A because you need to go through your simplification first, right? So that's it for our question 11 to question 20 in your UASA Form 2, Section 8.